Hello and welcome to the next episode of Goa Wants To Know. We have with us a very special and important guest, somebody who is going to be a key player not just before the elections but even after that. Welcome, Shri Digamber Kamat, former Chief Minister and probably the only Chief Minister from the year 2000 who's had a full uninterrupted term for 5 years. He's feels that he's well on its way to getting yet another term. Digamber Kamat, where does your confidence come from?
See, my confidence is basically getting the party back to the power. I have been traveling across the state since last 2 months. I have met people of various sections of the society. Most of the people, they feel that Congress government should come back to power in the state of Goa. They do not want this ruling dispensation to come back to power again. In fact, they are committed to see that this government does not come back to power. This is what I read from what people talk, I read from their faces, and I read the way they criticize them, the way they are angry with them for various reasons. You will ask me for what?
Yes.
What are the reasons? One reason is, main reason is these 3 linear projects. Government is hell-bent on making Goa a coal hub. People of Goa do not appreciate this. This is what is the benefit to the people of Goa. You are double tracking the railway lines, you are widening the national highways passing through wildlife sanctuary, you are cutting 70,000 trees for electrifying the railway lines. For what? For whom? Who is going to be benefited? See, we led a morcha at South Western Railway in Hubli. We had a discussion. The general manager was kind enough to call us inside and discuss with us, showed us the plans. We asked him a simple question. Please tell us, how does these projects benefit the Goans? We only want to know that. He had no answer. We asked him, are you going to add 10 more passenger trains? He said no. Then for whom you are double tracking the line? For whom you are electrifying the line? For whom you are widening the road? For what purpose? How the Goans should inhale the dust particles of coal and die with that? What is the... So, people expect a good government to scrap these projects. See, if you remember, when I was the Chief Minister, a massive morcha came even at my official residence, at my private residence, asking me to scrap SEZs. It's a big issue. 17 SEZs.
They came to your office also.
The 17 SEZs were approved.
Correct.
3 were notified, and around 14 were in the pipeline.
Yes.
The job potential was shown, projection was shown that 12,000 jobs will be created with these SEZs. They asked me simple questions. They said, 12 jobs your government is showing, 12 jobs, projected jobs to be created. From where the people will come? Our population is 15 lakhs. What are you looking at? I was also convinced that I said yes. In fact, I thought that probably at that time government should have tried with one SEZ.
But those projects were scrapped basically because of the High Court intervention.
No. High Court upheld my order. See, I went to Delhi. I explained to Mrs. Gandhi that this is the reason why people are agitating, and I said if we don't take action, the people may go against us.
Because the court said that these allotments were done in a manner not known to law.
No, listen to me. Mrs. Gandhi said, what is your opinion? I said, we should stay with the people. So if that is the case, she said, you stay with the people and scrap the SEZ policy. She called Mr. Kamalnath immediately in front of me only. She called him and told him that Mr. Kamat is sitting with me. Please see that this Goa state doesn't want to have SEZs. You see that these SEZs are scrapped. I came back, I met Kamalnath ji. He also told me, he gave direction that all 14 SEZs shall be done away with immediately, those who are not notified. 3 notified SEZs, he said start the process of denotifying them. I came back here. I remember it was a Diwali, on the eve of Diwali.
Right.
I held a cabinet meeting and we took a decision to scrap the SEZs and to scrap the SEZ policy. So we scrapped SEZs by bowing to the views of the people, because in democracy it is the people's will which should prevail. This is my personal opinion also. Otherwise there is no end of.
Tell me, as far Digamber Babu, as far as this one quick interruption, as far as the 3 linear projects is concerned, between 2007 to 12, this matter never came to you, in the sense there was no plan of these linear projects that time.
Nothing, because we are not even concerned about it.
Correct. No. I'm saying that even at this, from the center to here.
No, so even from center it might have come to MPT.
Right.
But then
it was never a matter of the state.
Matter of the state government.
Because I remember even Mr. Parrikar during his CM-ship was very categorical, and when he actually said that the double tracking and the expansion of the railway tracks is absolutely not called for, and Goa cannot be a coal hub. In fact, his own government has gone back on his assurance.
See, I was talking to you about SCZs. We scrapped the SCZs.
Right.
Then we sent notices to promoters asking them to surrender the land. The intention was you take back the land, make it available for other industries, or take the stakeholders into confidence who are agitating that you have acquired our land at throwaway price and you have given to big industries. Then the promoters of SCZ went to the High Court. What you are talking about is that on their petition, High Court came down with a heavy order upholding our decision to scrap the SCZ policy in the public interest and say that allotment of land was illegal.
Quickly moving on to just one more question on coal before we get on to other things, because we have politics to discuss. See, as far as this coal is concerned, the renewal to the consent to operate to the Adanis and the Jindals were both given in March 2012, and the Pollution Control Board was there. Your government was technically there, in power. So the charge of the opposition is that this renewal of the consent to operate was given during your tenure.
See, opposition either closing blind eye to the actual position or may not be interested in knowing the facts. The facts is Pollution Control Board is an autonomous body which directly reports to the Central Pollution Control Board. Whether it is for consent to operate, whether it is pollution matters, everything, they have their own board of directors. They take a decision, they communicate it to the concerned
but sometimes
department.
the environment minister happens to be the chairman of...
Never.
But ex officio there is some administrative control.
There is the minister for environment is the administrative minister for Pollution Control Board with respect to the administration of the staff and other things.
Right.
So, appointment of staff, for everything you require administrative approval of the minister or the government. But in such matters, technical matter, that is why Pollution Control Board is headed by a technical man. You minister or MLA cannot be the chairman of the pollution. They are very strict. Supreme Court guidelines are there. And this consent to operate is the total prerogative of the Pollution Control Board. No file goes to environment minister or anybody. And what you are saying that some renewals were consent to operate were given and all, that was actually I had checked it afterwards, after it appeared in it was during the code of conduct. Okay. And during the code of conduct there is no, in any case there is no government in existence that way, technically speaking.
Okay. Quickly moving on to the whole, the politics of it all. You see, one of the biggest skepticisms that people have about the Congress is the whole bad experience that happened in 2017 after you all got 17 seats and then failed to form the government for a variety of reasons. And then there was an absolute exodus, and interestingly you happen to be the only MLA who was elected during that period who's contesting on a Congress ticket now. Okay. Now the thing is that where is the confidence coming from, not from you, but how do people believe that the repeat of 2017 will not happen? Because a clear majority is something that all parties will struggle to achieve at this point.
See, in 2017, people realized that they don't want ruling dispensation to come back, and they voted for Congress. Actually, they gave a mandate to the Congress. Right. I admit, and I appreciate that Goan people wanted Congress to come back to power. We had 17 plus 1, 18. Unfortunately, our leadership delayed the decision of forming the government. And since BJP was also ruling from the center, they took advantage of the situation. See, if you go to see, BJP was reduced from 21 to 13.
Right.
Congress went from 9 to 17 plus 1, 18. If probably our leadership was to take decision on the spot in the evening at that time, probably things would have been different. Digamber has already assess this situation. He apologized to the people at large, publicly, saying that we express our sincere apologies for what happened in 2017, but we assure you that no such mistake shall be repeated again. This was a clear assurance given to the people of Goa. Secondly, one more decision Congress has taken in the history of Goa Congress, that no defector shall be taken back in the party. Earlier what is to me, everybody used to say Congress is an ocean, you go whenever you want to go out, you come whenever you want to come in. Today 10 defectors who left us and went that side, because of whom BJP government continued. Nobody is taken back and given a ticket. So people are expressing that yes, it's a good decision taken by the Congress. And I am 100% sure that people of Goa will go for teaching a lesson to all these defectors.
Quick question: as far as the Congress is concerned, and this is a challenge that all parties are going to face. In the event of you all getting less than majority, though the aim is always to get it, but in the event of you all ending up with say 14, 15 or 16 seats, you will still have a deficit of about 5 to 6 seats. And that is when post-poll alliances will come into play. There are no pre-poll alliances, except you and JFP right now as far as Congress is concerned, but otherwise there are no other pre-poll alliances. Now, in the eventuality of that, and assuming that you all will not align with the BJP, now the issue, the two other non-BJP parties that are in the fray is AAP and TMC outside your alliance, and of course MGP is allying with them. And there's a fringe player called the RG, but we leave that out of the equation at this point of time. So, I mean, have you already begun or have you started speaking to these parties? Because your central leadership literally rebuffed the TMC's approach for an alliance.
No, at the local level, we have not started talking. At the national level, if they are in touch with them, I do not know. We don't have any indication.
Right.
But I agree that in case of such a situation, I think parties which are opposed to BJP and who always want to see that BJP should not come to power, they should work out some solution, or they should try to talk to each other and work out some solution. This is the only option in such a case. That's what we also feel.
Right. But so what you feel is that as a pragmatic politician, you are open to the anti-BJP forces coming together to prevent.
I think that is a natural solution, basically.
Okay. But then, if that is the case, then why is there so much of animosity? It almost seems as if BJP is sitting on an ivory tower and we're completely comfortable with the absolute dissension happening within the
situation was, if TMC had a very good relationship with Congress at the national level, what I had seen actually. Now, if TMC wanted to come to Goa, they could have at least preliminary had some discussion with our leadership and something like that. They suddenly came and they took our leaders. So that has hurt our leadership also. Same thing with Aam Aadmi also. They take our leaders and then they say that let us discuss. That becomes a problem. Then our cadre gets more demoralized. You know, that is the thing. Probably if they were to come before, and they could have, in Delhi they would have, because they had best of the relations. As I had seen earlier, they had very good relationship with the national.
So you're saying that the priority to keep the BJP out will override a lot of these differences?
Yeah, I think that has to be, which has happened in many states, many places. Also we have seen, post-poll we have seen what happens.
I'll now come to this issue of rampant corruption. Now, corruption is an issue that all ruling parties have to grapple with. The issue is that as far as corruption is concerned, will there be some emphatic steps rather than lip service? See, for instance, everybody says zero tolerance to corruption. You said it, Mr. Parrikar said it, and so on and so forth. But these are political assurances. How do you convert these political assurances into concrete, legally binding deterrents to corruption?
No, see, we call that people expect good governance from the government. I always believe, when I was the chief minister also, I used to tell my officers, when I will say there is a good governance in the state of Goa, when people coming to meet me daily, the number gets reduced, and one day there are hardly anybody to come and meet me with small grievances, I will believe that there exists a good governance in Goa. People feel that we don't require chief minister's assistance, we don't require minister's assistance. officers
The system
are
will take care.
System will take care.
Right.
See, this was this of good governance. But today what is happening, now see, we had passed that public services guarantee bill.
That's right.
That we have passed it in the assembly. Where is the implementation? There is no implementation. That bill, if it is implemented by heart, if there is a will, there is a way. If you implement it through heart, I am sure your 50% problems will be solved of common man going to pillar and post. That occupancy certificate, time limit is fixed. Construction license, time limit is fixed. Mamledar certificate, time limit is fixed. Divergency. For every certificate, for everything, there is a time limit fixed. Even in electricity connection, if your light goes off, within few hours, if you are not able to restore the light, then the engineer will have to pay from his pocket to the consumer. To that extent, there are provisions. But who will implement? Government doesn't want to implement.
Are you giving a guarantee that you will?
We have to. We have no other alternative. In fact, in our memorandum, this manifesto also, we are trying to include lots of good things. You will come to know when the manifesto is released. We are trying to break certain things which generate corruption. See, there are lots of things which generate corruption. We are trying to fix a responsibility. Whoever he may be, we say that you work in tune with the government's policy. This is the policy. If file is to be cleared within 8 days, it has to be cleared within 8 days. Otherwise, there is a penal provision. Officer will have to pay from his pocket to the consumer or the person who comes for that.
Are you in favor of giving more teeth to the Lokayukta? What happens is Lokayukta becomes a body which is more recommendatory in nature. We saw what happened with what happened to the last Lokayukta. There were very clear-cut provisions to not only haul up but arrest certain kind of people. It was buried under the carpet.
We are very clear as far as Lokayukta is concerned, as far as Police Complaint Authority is concerned, as far as Vigilance Department is concerned. In our manifesto also we are said we will strengthen Lokayukta, we will strengthen this organization, and we will see whether we can even bring all these three together and make a good body headed by some High Court judge or something like that is also in our mind. But we have in our manifesto we have said that we will strengthen all these institutions. In the assembly, when the bill was introduced, we had opposed it tooth and nail.
Which one?
This Lokayukta amendment bill was introduced in the last assembly, diluting all the powers of the Lokayukta. You are removed his teeth and then you are making him function.
Yes, absolutely.
So there is no point in that. So we had opposed it.
Which is why a good Lokayukta will get frustrated.
That is my commitment, our party's commitment. We are going to put it in this also, our party's commitment to that.
See, the former Governor Satyapal Malik gave an interview which has become famous all over, where he told Rajdeep Sardesai of India Today, he told him that look, in Goa, the whole state is corrupt. Everything is corrupt. The system is completely corrupt. Now, do you think he was referring only to the period of the BJP, or was he referring to what Goa has become even previous to that?
He has, previous to that also it was BJP government.
And previous to that.
I'm just saying, whoever is the governor will not go back 10 years earlier or 15 years earlier. He sees what is happening in front of his eyes. A period where he was not connected, maybe he may not be aware. But he must have seen files speak. He gets information, he gets all the reports. So he must have seen. Now even Lokayukta. Now Lokayukta passed 21 orders in corruption cases. Has any one case has been investigated? In fact, in some cases, Lokayukta filed special reports to the governor. Yes. That's how governor must have come to know that what is going on. This is the state of affairs of the state. Then why you are boasting of zero tolerance to the corruption?
Tell me, let's go back to one interesting and very visible white elephant, which is the smart city project of Panjim. And of course, the project was created. A special purpose vehicle was envisaged. So many consultants came from all over the world, and crores of money was spent. The point here is that how do you view this smart city project? Because if it had come during your time, how would you have handled it, and what needs to be done to check the rampant corruption that smart cities?
See, first, smart city project should be handled in a transparent manner, taking all the stakeholders into confidence. Today, I do not think citizens of Panjim are even aware what is happening.
Well, there were consultations done. There were consultative process.
I'm not sure, because you appoint some consultants, you get some outsiders, you make them some CEOs, you make some managing director, and do whatever you want under the garb of smart city. What is smart? I had campaigned in the last election. I had campaigned for our candidate in Panjim. For 4-5 days, I went house to house in many areas. I saw in many areas there are no toilets. There are no Sulabh toilets. People are showing to me, what is this? There are no proper pipelines. Water is not going on second floor, third floor. How do you call this a smart city? Just by showing some animals, showing some this. That does not make the city smart. Cities, if you want to make it smart, you have to go to the root cause of the problem of the city and the citizens. See, if city becomes smart, citizens should also become smart. You try to make city smart by spending crores of rupees and then don't make citizens smart, it is of no use. So we will review the entire function. The Congress party will review the entire functioning of the smart city project, and we will see whether it has been done with honesty, or if it has been done with sincerity, or it has been done with malified intentions. That also we will check.
Mr. Kamat, now coming to two contentious issues during your tenure. One I'll start with one. One is, of course, the mining thing. Now, if you see that the Supreme Court in the writ petition 435/1 in the first Supreme Court judgment, and the second judgment on February 18th, 2018, if I'm not mistaken, where they struck down the renewal of 88 mining leases. Now, I'm coming to the first one because that concerns your tenure directly. The second one doesn't concern your tenure. In the first one, one of the main observations of the court, of course, you were not named undoubtedly, but the omission and commission of the government of the day in checking the illegalities of various kinds were repeatedly mentioned by the court. Looking back on hindsight, do you feel that under your watch, between 2007 to 2012, illegal mining or illegalities in the mining process happened?
See, if you go to see overall mining industry as such, mining industry has been going on in Goa during the Portuguese time. MMRD Act came in 1957.
Correct.
Concessions were given much before that.
That's right, yes.
So if you go to see, now during 2007-2012, central government introduced traders system. Earlier it used to be export license. Exports used to take place based on the export license, that the mine owner must have an export license, you want to export the ore.
That's right.
It was not in the open OGL category,
Right.
that means open general license. Somewhere in 2007 or 6 or 7, central government introduced a open general category as far as mining is concerned, by which any trader can buy from anybody and try to export. Now that suited some of the people because there was no check on the Marmugao Port Trust.
Suited who?
Suited the traders. Traders came from outside.
But the traders were buying ore from the...
Traders were buying ore from leaseholders,
Yes.
and giving them more price.
That's right.
And they were directly exporting. That when we came to know this, I went to Delhi. I met finance minister, I met shipping minister, I met mines minister, and we decided in that joint meeting, I convinced them that you must ask Port Trust to get this from the certificate from the Directorate of Mines, saying that the ore which is being exported has been extracted from a legal lease and royalty has been paid.
That's right.
So this was done by my government at that time. We did it and we enforced it on the Port Trust.
But then if that was the case, then why was your mines director Arvind Lolekar arrested for corruption?
He was arrested for some other case that
No,
it was a mining matter, but then it was proved that his signature was not there. They said that he has issued some, he was arrested by having issued this certificate by somebody has forged this sign, and they arrested him thinking that it is his signature. When the signs were tallied outside, they came to know that it was not his signature.
But during that time, this you are aware of. Don't you think that one of the biggest DNA of this whole scam was that fake challans were issued at that time? or proper transportation challans were not there, or a lot of work was going without proper challans.
Transportation challans and all was not an issue. The main problem was the certificates. That means supposing you have to give a certificate to the port trust, that has to be certified by the officer of the director of mines, saying that, as I said, center had made it compulsory that ode is legal and royalty has been paid.
That's right.
Now there many people might have managed. I do not know. I don't get such type of cases to me, because I don't get such type of, these are administrative decision at that level. But the case in which Mr. Lulekar was arrested, it was a wrong decision. Ultimately it proved that his signs were not his. Somebody else, some staff, somebody might have done.
So why do you think that the Supreme Court felt that during that time the government of the day did not
see government of the day could be government, state government as far as central government. Now you have to keep in mind one thing: mining is a concurrent list. It's a central subject as well as state subject. Now we govern as far as leases are concerned. These EC clearances are given by the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Bangalore office. They have direct control. If somebody flouts EC rules, regulation, state government doesn't come in picture. Now there is a Director General of Safety. If there is something to be connected with this, it is the Director General of Safety which comes in. They have to give clearance. There is Indian Bureau of Mines. For any lease, any plan, mining plan, you exceed something from some area, is a IBM which comes into picture. State government at that time had no apparatus and no authority also to do all such type of things. So state government was restricted to Director of Mines of Geologists. They were checking of leases, renewal of leases, collecting of royalty. And what was the royalty they were paying us when I was the Chief Minister? First 3 years, royalty which was, you will be shocked to know, the royalty which was paid by the mine owners or the leaseholders to the government of Goa was not exceeding 40 crores or 45 crores. For first 3 years, per year. Right. It was only in 2010 when central government, on our demand, all the states, we were demanding that it should be linked to the price of the dollar and on ad valorem basis. So they notified that royalty shall be on ad valorem basis, and that was the year when Goa government collected 800 crores for the first time as the royalty.
Digamber Bab, see, the issue is, so are you saying that things like the different kinds of illegalities that happen, for instance, some leaseholders mined outside their lease areas. Secondly, some may have dumped in areas where they were not supposed to dump. Thirdly is the issue of under declaring and over exporting. These are the 3 or 4 main, and of course then the role of the fly by night traders who just came, their addresses were completely fake. These are the 4 large pillars of the so-called mining scam. So are you saying that the state government was not directly concerned with each of these?
State government was not, because ultimately the exports were done through the port trust.
Right.
I feel that port trust was responsible for getting that verification done, to see that, anybody will come anything with the port to export. Is it not responsibility of the port authorities to check that whatever cargo they are bringing is legal, it is verified, it has the clearance of the state government, which they were not doing earlier. Only after we got the orders issued, then they started this. Secondly, if you go to 3, their Shah Commission report, they said that there could be a loss of 35,000 crores based on, because of they have exceeded the lease limits and they have done extraction and all like that. Yes. But down they put a proviso. These are provisional figures, we have not actually verified. And what does the government say after verification? After I have a letter here which is addressed, one Mr. Ladu Gauns had written a letter to the Prime Minister regarding recovery of the amount of rupees 35,000. Yes. And what does the
this is the RTI reply from the PMO office which says that that figure is not there.
No, not only that, the Director of Mines, which ultimately intimated to the Prime Minister's office also, that they say, this is reference to your letter cited above on the subject matter of which is based on Shah Commission finding, which was challenged by Goa Foundation, writ petition number 435, 2012. The matter was finally decided on 21st April 2014, wherein Honorable Supreme Court has mentioned that solely on Shah Commission report, no proceedings shall be initiated against leaseholders, etc. The DGPS survey of leases, this is important, the DGPS survey of leases was conducted as encroachment of 578.42 hectares. was roughly calculated in Shah Commission's report, based upon which an amount of 35,000 crores was arrived at. See what they are saying. After the DGPS survey actually done, working outside leasehold area, prima facie is seen to be only 9.2859 hectares. Right. That means from 578 hectares, you have come down to.
This is the CMO reply.
This is the reply given by the Director of Mines.
Okay. Right.
And which is very negligible as compared to Shah Commission's findings. As such, the question of recovery, etc., does not arise. What does it say? That means this was a stunt to tarnish our government's image during that time. I was informing them about the PSC report. There was a big hike made.
Yeah, I'll just come to the PSC. I'll ask you a specific question with regard to the PSC report. So you were saying that there is no illegality and there is nothing to be recovered from mining losses. This is what your...
No. What I am saying, if there are some amounts to be recovered from leaseholders because they have not filed the returns properly, or you verify all the documents. Okay. All the documents are available. All the documents, their returns are available. Everything is available today.
I'm not saying this is your government or second government, but I'll just come to governance, okay, and how amounts that are recoverable are also not getting recovered. See, for instance, in the same mining issue, there was an expert committee constituted by the Supreme Court to look into, of auditors, to look into losses. Okay, the expert committee, the CEC, found out and gave its report to the Supreme Court. Then the CAG did its own audit. Okay, now if you add up the expert committee's audit report plus the CAG's report of the mining losses, their total cumulative figure that they have reached at is 3431 crores. Okay, the government admitted that. It's a figure that the government has admitted. They've gone to the court after your time. I'm not saying it's during your time. They went to the Supreme Court and they said that the total losses, if you add up these two, is 3431 crores, and we will start recovery. They issued notices to the leaseholders of only 300 crores. From 3431 crores, it came down to 300 crores. So anyway, the demand was 300 crores as opposed to 3431 crores, out of which only about 100 crores has been recovered. So my question is that the intent to recover, more than the figures of recovery, the intent to recover doesn't seem to be too strong because of the close relationship that the mine owners always have with the government.
But am I to be blamed for this?
No. I'm asking you as somebody who is a veteran politician and a former chief.
If you have appointed a committee of chartered accountants, fair enough, they are professionals. They don't bother who is the mine owner, they have to go strictly as per the audit, whatever it is, because they also do audits. If they have given some report, then the government has to act.
Right, absolutely.
I fully agree with that. Government has to act. Right. If government fails to act, then it is the responsibility of the government for having not acted on. See, one side you are appointing a committee, and other side you are not even thinking of implementing their suggestions.
Okay, just one more last question on your tenure, because I want to give you the opportunity to respond, which is why I am raising this question, and after which we will get down to political issues. See, one of the charges that your opponents make is the fact that you were accused in the JICA scam. Okay, and the thing is that really happened during your tenure. For the uninitiated, it's got to do with waterworks. It shouldn't actually be called the JICA scam, basically, because JICA only gave the funding. So the works were executed by the PWD and others. So the issue here is that when that whole thing happened, and the Lewis Berger company got into it and so on and so forth. Now, and you obviously had to face a lot of legal cases and other things, and you still are. What do you have to say about this whole issue?
First of all, you will be shocked to know that not a single file connected with this issue has come to the Chief Minister.
Right.
Because the loans funded, whatever loans have been given by the company to central company,
That's
central government,
That's right.
Not to the Goa government.
Right. That's right.
It has not been taken in our accounts also.
I see.
CAG has put up a remark
that
Goa government has not taken this on record, because our finance department says that this did not come on record, because money is deposited in Bank of India, Tokyo. The checks are issued by Bank of India, Tokyo. RTGS done directly in the accounts of the consultants or the contractors. After the bills are certified by the central government, not even Goa PWD. It was dealt by basically a project engineer appointed by the Public Works Department in the department.
Mr. Vachasundar.
He was the project engineer. So everything actually remains with project engineer. And you see the tenders which they are saying that some money has been, that tender was bidded for 125 crores, which the tender committee consisting of various people that.
Vachasundar was not your appointee at all.
Vachasundar was appointed earlier also.
Earlier, yes.
And before, because this was started during my tenure, now that tender was brought down to somewhere around 75 crores by negotiating by the tender committee.
Right. Right.
So in that, who is to get profit, who is to make some money, and why you will offer something to somebody where you are not been benefited?
So according to you, what is the reason behind this? Why according to you it's a witch hunt? So why does
it was a framework. It was a framing of Digamber Kamat. I have after that.
But by who and for what purpose?
You know very well who had done it.
No, I may know.
The people also know who had done it. I don't want to name the person. Those people who did it, they have been punished. Not by people, by God. Now, to be frank, you will be surprised. After that case came up and after I discussed with my lawyers, they also told me. One of my lawyer friend from Delhi sent me a book, Framing of a Terrorist. I read that book and I was shocked how a 18-year-old could be framed as a terrorist by the police. And after 8 years of this in jail, that boy has been, High Court has acquitted him, saying that he has nothing to do, his life has been ruined. This type of things can happen. I always said that God is great, I have full faith in God. भगवान के घर में देर है लेकिन अंधेर नहीं है. He does the real justice. There is no partiality in his judiciary. This is my sincere opinion.
Taking off from what you just said, there and andher, in 2022, there are two guarantees that one needed. One, of course, your candidates have gone and taken a pledge that they are not going to defect. The other guarantee that one needs is that if you are in a position to form the government, you will not chicken out. Your people will not come under pressure from the BJP. Are you giving that assurance that that will not happen?
You will come to know when Rahulji comes tomorrow. Let us see if we are working out some solution for that also.
You reckon there is going to be some solution?
We are discussing this issue with him.
Finally, before we end up, we have to ask you one very important question because this is election time. Mr. Kamat, in the event that you manage to form the next government and become the next chief minister, what is going to be the X factor or a differential? Because we understand that in business or in investment banking, whenever a big corporation gives a loan to a startup company or even an established company, one of the key questions is asked is, what is your X factor? I'm asking you this question.
First of all, I do not know what will happen after the elections. But if our party comes to power, we have assured the people of Goa. We are bringing out our manifesto most probably tomorrow. We have assured the people of Goa that our government will be sensitive to the people's problem. I give you a small example. You see my period of 5 years, 2007 to 12, and you see period of 10 years of BJP rule. Even today, wherever I go, people say that your government was better, your government was sensitive, your government understood the problems of the poor people, your government understood the problems of taxi fellows, rickshaw fellows, motorcycle pilots. See, this has been my way of looking at that. And that is why they say that your government, your period was the period of prosperity, where small people, small traders, they had money in their hand. Taxi walas, everybody had money in their hand. Whereas BJP's 10 years period has been a period of poverty. Here everybody is crying for money. There are nobody who has got money today. They can't pay loans, they can't pay trade licenses, and this government has failed to help them during COVID pandemic. So my government or Congress government had given a good administration during 2007 and 12, which people now compare. And after comparing, they feel that ab ki bar Congress Sarkar. This is their leading. But Congress party has assured the people that under no circumstances we will let you down. Simplification of administration, as I said, target will be simplification of administration. People should not be made to go to any office again and again without any result. So we said it has to be a time-bound delivery of every service, and then try to stop corruption wherever possible. For example, planning and development authorities have been a source of corruption. In manifesto we have said, we have recommended in the manifesto that power of licensing, which is with the PDA, should be done away with. You keep planning development authorities only for preparing outland development plans, comprehensive.
Because that is completely linked to Goan identity, destruction of village life, and everything. I mean, everything that comes.
We are doing going to do certain things in our manifesto, giving commitment to the people of Goa.
Okay. One of the reasons why we feel, and a lot of people in Goa feel, that Shri Digamber Kamat has been a successful politician is not only because of his policies and programs, but because he picks up his phone at 2 o'clock at night. And I think he gets more votes by these small actions than anything else, because I remember in his days when the power used to go and people used to call up the lineman didn't pick up the phone, and the power minister, when he was a power minister in the BJP government, and then when he was the chief minister, used to pick up the phone quicker than the lineman did. I think these were one of the small things that makes Digamber Kamat a very unique kind of a politician. But a lot of what he has said today will be successful if there is a strong government, because what happens is, if there are different coalitions, different parties forming a coalition, those kind of clear principles and policies get kind of diluted and skewed. But thank you, Mr. Kamat, for a freewheeling discussion.
Thank you.
And handling some contentious questions. But overall, thank you very much for giving us the time, and we wish you and your party all the very best.
Thank you so much.